Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are going to be continuing and finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the ending a Grand Overture story. Right then, final part, so let's wrap up the story and be ready for the next story that is literally around the corner. But before we do so, to anybody who bumps into the voiceover through this very episode, you can find the full playlist in the description of this video, so just hit that one up and enjoy the story. But yeah, final part, and honestly this should have been out like a day before when this will pop up on the channel, but a couple of things that I wanted to add to this episode have delayed it a bit, so well, you'll see when we get through that. This episode has been a bit of extra work, let's put it this way, but it has been some interesting work, and yeah, I am happy to bring you guys the rest of this story. And as always, before we get into the story, we'll do a quick little recap here of the previous part, so for those of you who want to skip ahead, you can do so by the timestamps down below in the pinned comment in the comment section below. And just like I just mentioned, I used some extra footage today, and the footage that I used is linked in the description as well. At the very bottom there's a link for a video. Do not click that one yet. wait for the episode. Then go ahead and click it. And someone can tell me if that is the original video. By the way, I had to dig around and find where the original video is because it's a Billy video, and I just needed like little clips from it because I did see it very recently, and I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect for a scene. But I'm not sure if that is the original account from it. I did find the video on Billy, so I linked it, and if someone knows, you can correct me, or if you have the correct link, you can give that one to me, and I'll link it instead of it. But yeah, anyhow, outside of that, don't click it until we're done with the episode. Let's put it that way. But anyway, let's do the quick recap, and then let's proceed. So then, last time we'll begin the story with Feist in a factory talking to a fellow worker before they got interrupted by a shout for help. Feist rushes out only to stop Vina from beating the lights out of someone who stepped on a nerve. Later at the speaker's office, Feist and Vina discuss the current state of things like goods, Parliament, Catherine, and some other stuff. Meanwhile, in the underground, Catherine is having a meeting with Percival as they are exchanging goods. Catherine asks her about the current state of reunion and if the leadership is still here or left. According to Percival, all of them have left, including 9, and only some members are still here doing work in a factory on the outside. Delphine and her crew were, however, monitoring them, but she lets them be for now and only gives orders to observe them. We then swapped to Eliseo and Diane, who were at a noble's banquet, and there they run into Heidi, who covers for them being there. Meanwhile, Vina has a visit from Oren, who is there to extend an invitation from the Pope in Laterano to attend the Summit of Nations. Vina refuses that because of the current state of Londinium and Victoria. As Oren leaves, the Glasgow gang came in to give Vina a hand with her work and some tasty treats. At the sanatorium, Shearer is visiting Sarah again to thank her, and as he's leaving, his vision starts to blur due to his medical issues, and he collapses on the street. Luckily, Delphine comes along to pick him up and promises him to take him home so that he can get treatment. Sometime later, Dagda is giving Vina a tour of the Knights of the Tower watchtower that is being turned into a museum for the Knights. Meanwhile, Eliseo is in St. Marcel's College, where he teaches the children about telepathy and he meets Molly. In Parliament, Vina is delivering a speech to the citizens about future programs and her plan for the exemplars, but that is cut short because of the arrival of the Dukes. The Dukes invite her to a meeting with them. But as they are doing their speeches, a sudden call from Indra shakes everything up. The crown has been stolen from the palace. However, the thief and the crown get found very quickly because the thief herself delivers it to Vina's office. Diane took it in the hopes to get to Vina and convince her to become the next king. Vina refuses that and wants to leave the throne vacant with only the crown sitting on it. After that, we jumped into a flashback to the day the war ended. All the allied forces are pushing in. Feist finds Catherine and the Crawler, and in the underground our vampire lady has a little get-together with Milskar and Ascalon. Then we see the scene of the final push against the Nazir king. Vina hands over the Size of Kings to a soldier, Diane, who rushes forward killing some enemy troops. Then the next person picks it up, and then the next, and then the next, until at some point someone managed to get to the Nazir king and kill him. Later the Steam Knight rushes at the palace, and the Crawler with reinforcements pops out from the ground, and the final assault commences. And that is pretty much where we left off last time, so we shall continue now. And we shall obviously continue where we left off on the second portion of stage number 8. There were no extra enemies here, no new enemies at least. So let's recap very quickly, titled Sword Reforged in War. When the steam dissipated, Vina told me that history will remember its heroes. Victory. In the boxing ring, victory is about honor and glory. On the battlefield, victory is about lives saved and lost. The Nazir king's death terrified everyone who saw it. I don't want to think about it now, much less include it in my book. That Sarkaz won't get a eulogy from me. But I'll forever honor the last Steam Knight, Sir Charles Lynch.
How long has it been since he's moved? 10 minutes.
No one dares approach Charles Lynch. Everyone gathers around the last Steam Knight, down on one knee in a show of respect. He stands tall and unwavering before the palace of Vestalag, steam gushing from every crack in his armor. Scorching, unrelenting. Like the sound of a beating heart.
How can he still be standing with such grievous wounds from the battle with the Nazir king? It was never his body alone that kept him upright, or he would have never made it out of the Mausoleum of Kings.
Vina walks towards the Steam Knight, as everyone else watches on.
Vina, don't get close to him. He's off his rocker. I have to know for sure. But he almost killed you back in the underground, Vina. Let her do it. Something's not right with the Steam Knight, Sir Charles. Siege probably sensed it too. But trust her.
Vina approaches the Steam Knight. She can feel the temperature rise from the hot steam.
I've never seen you like this, not even back in the Mausoleum of Kings. The war is over. You've protected Victoria. You've completed your mission. What are you still searching for? The sword? Sorry, it was lost somewhere on the battlefield. Or perhaps you're waiting for something else?
Vina gently touches Sir Charles' armor. Every scratch and mark etched into it tells the Steam Knight's story. The battle with his comrades on the day he swore to inherit the title. The battle on the frontier to quell uprisings. He survived amidst a storm of witchcraft. The betrayal in the Mausoleum of Kings. The charge towards the glorious, towards Originium. Sir Charles Lynch has never fallen. Sir Charles Lynch shall forever watch over Victoria.
You're looking at the Palace of Vestalag. I understand now. You're not the only one. Many more are looking over at the palace.
Vina looks back at the gathered Victorians in the distance, wounded, silent, excited, weeping. The people had already formed a long human wall on their own, holding back the restive and agitated crowd. They are all murmuring different names: Siege, Vina, Alexandrina, Victoria.
I never believed you'd gone mad. Sir Charles, this is our second official meeting. I once hoped that if you found your way out of the darkness, you would find something worth protecting. We've already made it this far. Please wait a little longer until I return.
Vina walks past the Steam Knight, up the steps to the Palace of Vestalag, and alone through its door. Time slowly passes. At first, the crowd is silent, but gradually they stir as unrest begins to spread.
Why is it taking so long? Could there be other enemies inside? Should we go and help?
Quiet! Have faith in the Royal Highness Alexandrina! Can't you see that even the Steam Knight is waiting here in silence?
I've heard the crown is still inside. Do you think that that when she comes out, we'll have a new king? Something's not right here. Based on our intelligence, there shouldn't be any more of the military commission's forces left. There should be nothing left in that palace.
Are we just gonna stand here like idiots? We ought to just go in and see for ourselves. I'll go. There are better choices. Well, we're the only ones who can drive the crawler. As long as we've got the crawler, with nothing to fear, we'll be protected, even against the Steam Knight. Vina never told us what she saw in the Palace of Vestalag, and we never asked Feist about it either. It doesn't matter. I'm just relieved that once the military commission's banner fell from atop the palace, Vina didn't actually walk out wearing the crown. That's my Vina. At least, that's how I felt at the time.
There she is! She's coming out! Where's the crown? Why isn't she wearing the crown?
Quiet, you moron! She hasn't been coronated yet. Why would she be wearing the crown already?
What's that in her hands? Is that the devil's flag? Good people of Victoria, the Nachtzer king is dead. I have torn down this flag that the enemy has stabbed into the heart of our great Londinium. We will tear down every Sarkaz banner left in our home and drive out every enemy still consumed by their bloodlust. But please spare the unarmed ones, spare anyone willing to surrender. The war is over. We must not avenge slaughter with more slaughter, nor meet hatred with more hatred. I, Vina Victoria, wish to speak to all the heroes who have fought to defend our Victoria. Hear me? We have liberated Londinium, liberated Victoria. In these coming days, months, and years, we must revive Victoria. We shall revive Victoria!
Vina raises her hammer aloft for all to see. The people rise to their feet, and a wave of cheers spreads outward from the center, each surge louder than the last. Londinium and her citizens celebrate her rebirth. At the center of the crowd, the last Steam Knight lets out his final roar, steam bursting forth. His heart stops beating, so he ignites it with the suit's burning core. His vision blurs, so he clears it with steam hot enough to melt flesh. Then, Sir Charles sees it. Victoria's flag, basking in the sun's golden glow. Sir Charles Lynch can finally fall. He falls to the light of dawn, to a new beginning. Steam completely envelops Sir Charles's enormous body, making his demise unceremonious and almost unnoticed. Amidst the cheering crowd, a figure walks into the cloud of steam. Ellerdale bids farewell to the hero she once so deeply admired.
You could have killed me back then. The despicable meeting her end at the hands of her hero. That would have been the perfect ending to her story. So why must the despicable be the one to bid farewell to her hero? Sir Charles, you have completed your mission. My father once taught me that every Steam Knight returning triumphantly from his mission would have a squire to remove his armor and wipe away the dust. Allow me to remove your armor. It has long fused with your body.
Core temperature dropping.
I will keep your core. I promise that your heart will never stop burning. It will bear witness to Victoria's future. Sir Charles, you've seen the things you hoped to protect restored to their former brilliance. Have you any final words, good Steam Knight?
From this day forward, you will be honored as a Steam Knight. Sir Charles Lynch, tell me, what do you want for your reward? Your Majesty, I wish for your blade to always be sharp. I wish for the wheat my wife harvests fill the granary by our doorstep year after year. I wish to hold my newborn daughter in my arms and fly over Londinium, gazing down at the factories bustling day and night throughout the city. I wish for my neighbor, whose legs were crippled by illness, to stand again, so we can drink, sing, and celebrate through the nights with our comrades we know so well. Your Majesty, what I wish for is a life of lasting peace. If this reward requires me to fight for it myself, then, Your Majesty, I pledge to you I will always keep fighting for you, for my loved ones, for my honor, and for Victoria!
Victoria. The oath of Sir Charles Lynch, the final words of the last Steam Knight. You never abandoned yourself, even when Victoria abandoned you. Steam Knight, I don't deserve that title, nor the set of armor. This war has already claimed too many lives. I hope yours is the last. Goodbye, Sir Charles Lynch. Listen, they're all bidding you farewell.
Victoria! 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 For Victoria! A last burst of steam. Victoria. His final hoarse whisper merges with the crowd shouting, like raindrops quietly dropping into the sea. Ellerdale sees the excited faces in the crowd, yet cannot help falling into silence. Her eyes are drawn to the woman standing on the steps, Vina. She knows Vina can see her as well. Vina just stands there, looking back at her, her lips moving slightly. Did she recognize me? Ellerdale sighs.
You made the right choice. You are standing exactly where you belong. As am I. Londinium does not need any more heroes. Vina.
She turns and walks away, disappearing into the white billows of steam.
What are you looking at, Vina? The Steam Knight is gone. He has completed his mission. That steam... I thought it was like last time. This time is different. Then there is no need to bother him. Someone is already seeing him off. Alright.
Celebration and mourning.
Vina, what should we do next?
The people stand cheering in front of the palace of Vestalag. They all look to Vina.
They're waiting for you. Then I will show them all, Delphine.
The Cinecelt, Parliamentary Chamber, December 25th, 5:24 p.m. Is this the Speaker's answer? She sent you, her old comrades, to drive us away?
No, guarding the Cinecelt is only one of the Defense Force's responsibilities. Justice is justice, Hoff.
Heroes shouldn't be treated this way. Diane and all the exemplars who bled don't deserve this, do they, Commander?
I understand what you're saying, but this isn't how Parliament makes decisions. We cannot let this become a precedent.
I do not know politics, Captain. I only know that Diane is a good person. If Parliament insists, many hearts will be lost.
And you, sir? You still will not yield?
I know Diane well. She would never act out of selfishness, nor does she have any ties with the nobility. Therefore, I humbly ask the Speaker to take time out of her busy schedule to reconsider Diane's verdict.
This was a decision rendered by the Provisional Court. Diane broke into the locked throne room in direct defiance of Parliament. We also know Diane very well, but I'm afraid there's nothing...
Diane? Yes, she's the one who introduced us to you. After the war, we lost our homes and nearly our lives. If it weren't for her constant encouragement, I'd probably still be passed out in a barrel of ale. You don't think she's a bad person either, do you? It's just that Vina... Speaker Vina, sorry. It's a force of habit. Speaker Vina must have made a mistake. We've all gone to her office, but I feel like just having numbers on our side might not be enough. Feist, your words carry more weight. Please, I'm begging you.
Sorry, but I have to assume that if Parliament put Diane on trial, they must have also allowed her to present a defense. No matter how strange or unfair I think their decision is, having Speaker Vina force them to change it at the last minute would be even more unfair.
But Diane's case should be treated differently. We just barely survived the war, and now she's going to die over something so stupid?
Listen to the radio. Listen to the patrons in the bars. You'll hear that nobody's happy about this decision.
What do you think, Catherine? You said we could lodge our complaints with Vina anytime.
I think Diane is just a stupid girl who did a stupid thing. Nothing more. She means well, but what she did was moronic. She defied a direct order of Parliament and left Vina with no other choice.
So you're planning to turn down the pharma rep?
How do you expect me to convince Parliament? Actually, Vina does have a chance to solve this. With her reputation, persuading Parliament to impose a lighter punishment is not impossible. But many eyes are watching as she makes her final decision. This is just one of the many tricky issues that the Speaker of Londinium's Parliament has to face. A hero may be able to save everyone in a war, but... Lady Delphine. We spent quite a bit of time trying to find you.
Me?
In just one day, Diane's case caused quite an uproar across Londinium. We briefly investigated who was spreading the news and inciting the public.
So, Parliament wants me to shut up?
No, Eliseo. Compared to deliberate acts of sabotage, your actions have had significantly less impact. Actually, we all admire you for fighting so hard for someone you have not known for very long. Vina understands how you feel. She wanted to come and see you in person, but I stopped her. I apologize, but Madam Speaker has more urgent matters to attend to presently.
Is there absolutely no room for negotiation regarding Diane's case?
No. Vina could change things, we all know that. Frankly, this is a very sad case. However, it will serve as a message from Parliament to all the citizens. I saw that you requested to review Parliament's records, so you must be well aware of Diane's charges, the defense that she herself presented, and the various PM's opinions of her. The citizenry has collectively established Londinium's current laws, and the Provisional Court made its judgment on Diane in accordance with those laws. Isn't this how you do things in Columbia?
But she's a war hero. Shouldn't her merits outweigh her faults?
That's a notion steeped in reason, yet brimming with arrogance. I often come across this phrase in history books, usually said by old Victorian kings. But if Vina crosses this line and the others allow it to happen, then what is the point of having Parliament? How would our Parliament be any different from the one where the king himself served as Speaker? I don't know the answer to that question, Eliseo, but none of us want to take the risk of finding out. Parliament will not interfere with any of your endeavors. However, as far as Diane's case is concerned, I'm sorry. This is Parliament's decision, and it cannot be changed.
Diane's never told me specifically what kind of soldier she was during the war. Most of the time she talked to me about her hopes for Londinium's future. Most of the people I meet in Londinium harbor high hopes and dreams for the city's future.
This is the city's great fortune. Our duty is to ensure we never let its people down.
I see. The herbs Diane grew in the greenhouse against all odds will mature in February. I hear they can alleviate the excruciating pain of oropathy. I will wait until they mature and take some samples back to Columbia.
okay? If you need any help before then, just let us know.
Actually, when I first arrived in Londinium, I was also curious as to what kind of person Speaker Vina was. When Hannah and I visit schools and sanatoriums to give surprises to the infected children, they always ask us about the story of Princess Alexandrina, the Princess Royal. We then tell them the whole tale of the street urchin who became a legendary war hero and the savior of Londinium. But the story always ends when Vina walks out of the palace of Vestalag. At that point, it's not so fit for children. How I wish the story could end with Vina tearing off those fancy clothes and returning with us to Norpor, to the Glasgow gang. But I know that's not possible anymore. On the day of the mass protests against Diane's verdict, Vina explained to us, in detail, the proposals she was going to submit to the Dukes at her upcoming meeting. They covered a whole lot of topics like food, healthcare, education, and civil service reforms. Vina had the right solutions to all of those issues, but she didn't say a word about Diane. We listened quietly to all of her proposals and then left without bringing it up.
Fuel inventory report, comprehensive report on all city sanatoriums, report on oripathy suppressant distribution.
Vina returns her gaze to the documents in front of her. She struggles to absorb the reams of data. She knows that in just a few minutes the bell on her table will ring to remind her to head to the banquet hall. She also knows that those guests don't really care about the numbers she has tried to memorize, much less the actual lives, deaths, and hardships they represent. But she cares. This time, she's the one who invited the Dukes for dinner.
I hope this works.
In the now quiet office, the faint shouts of protesters outside the window could still be heard.
I'm sorry, Diane.
Rest in peace, Sir Charles. You did Victoria proud. Salutes in chat, everybody. That Giga Chat of a Steam Knight did his job, and he can now rest in peace. That is it for the boy. That is it for the man. That is it for the Giga Chad. He has served Victoria to the last breath, even beyond his last breath. All things considered, that guy was literally melted into that suit, and he was still going. And my god, that final speech, him immediately beginning with the words of pretty much declaring Allerdale a Steam Knight. The one thing she wanted to become. Now, it's a bit debatable, because that whole scene, at least from my point of view, is... I mean, it's obvious he is talking during the whole thing, but he is literally word by word recounting not just his words that he delivered as a pledge when he became a knight, but he also delivered the words that were given to him by the king when he was knighting him. So either he was in full delirium and wasn't realizing the first sentence he said was by the king. He's just basically living in a memory at that point, or reliving a memory at that point, rather, his final memory. But I wonder if the words were directed to Allerdale. I would love to believe so, at least, because that's very poetic. That is a very poetic thing. Again, that's the thing she always wanted to become, and now she got knighted by a knight, essentially. Good God. And yeah. Oh, and yeah, of course. Ellerdale has the core of the Steam Knight with her now. As she plugged it out, essentially. And I guess that is the reason why she's able to wield that, well, why she can operate that Steam Knight weapon on her right arm that she keeps deploying in certain scenes. So I guess that's the power source for it. It had to come from somewhere, but I guess she's using the power core of the Steam Knight to do so. Very poetic. She did say she's gonna keep him around just to show him future Londinium and Victoria, how it's gonna develop. So that's very nice. But yeah, that is it for the guy. And now in present time, Vina is ready to deliver some choice words to the Dukes. She has been cooking stuff, and let's see what that entails. But before we do so, we are obviously gonna begin with stage 9, titled A Hero's Final Bow. We all love Victoria, but there's nothing more we can do for her. Now, very fast, this one is gonna be a bit different because, as usual, final stages, boss stages, I include the boss battle in it as well. So we are gonna go from the cutscene into the boss battle into the other cutscene without anything of me yapping in between them. It's just gonna be a clean transition between all of that. And then when we're done with the stage, I'm gonna give you the description of the boss, essentially. But yeah, anyhow, let's begin. Defense Forces Temporary Detention Room, December 25th, 8:32 p.m. Whew, Zone 2 is finally all cleaned up. Now it's just Zone 4 left. How are you doing? Off work, huh? Want to take a break?
I'm cleaning just as fast as you are, as you can plainly see. You don't need to try and accommodate me just because I'm infected.
That's not it at all. I just thought you must be tired with everything you've been through and all.
Oh, I thought... Never mind. As for that incident with the crown, I'm fully clear on that now.
It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Besides, you're not the only one who wanted to do that. Actually, it seems like all of a sudden people aren't as afraid of the infected anymore.
And that's because we're in Londinium. The policies instituted by the Speaker and Parliament have, at the very least, stopped many people from openly showing fear and resentment towards the infected. But according to a Colombian friend of mine, outside of Londinium, things haven't changed.
Oh, anyway, thanks for helping with the cleanup. We would have had the captain on us again without you.
I should be the one thanking you for not shackling me. Having something to do helps put my mind at ease.
If you ask me, you need not worry about Parliament's decision. Think about it. Of all the places in Londinium where they could have detained you, why did they choose the Defense Forces lockup? It's because we're all either old war buddies or familiar faces who can look out for you. Don't worry, once things cool down, we'll find a reason for you to go home. The protesters outside of the Speaker's office, they're the ones who are missing the picture. We all know what kind of person Vina is. Are you feeling alright? Do you need something to drink?
You're saying the Speaker is going to release me?
I'm saying just rest here for now, where it's safe, until things die down out there. The captain didn't allow you to have a radio or read the newspaper, right? It's because he was worried that you might get to thinking too much. If you're still feeling jittery, my good buddy, he gets thrown in the drunk tank every few days. Is there some premium hooch around here somewhere? I'll go and grab a few bottles for you. Diane gives a faint wry smile as she strains to catch these sounds coming from outside. But aside from the faint sound of water running through pipes, she hears nothing but the distant drills of the Defense Forces. Ever since she was brought in here, she has been more or less cut off from the outside world.
I wonder if Eliseo is doing alright. I really should have let him know beforehand. he must be so worried about me now. Indeed, he went to nearly everyone he knows to plead on your behalf. Madam Speaker! Good, they aren't treating you like some common criminal. And you made sure of that? No, they did it on their own. They believe you don't deserve this sentence. Many came to me on your behalf. Your friends, my friends, our comrades in arms, and even some civilians who don't know you at all.
Then I snatched some of my buddy's liquor for you. He takes a big swig of whiskey. Before the soldier even reaches Diane and Vina, he snaps to attention, the whiskey caught awkwardly in his mouth, too afraid to swallow or spit it out. He quickly hides the bottle behind him and salutes Vina.
No need to hide it, Patel. As I recall, Horn did mention that drinking is prohibited in the barracks.
Yes, Vina, but this is,
I won't tell Horn, but in return, you'll keep my visiting Diane a secret. And set the bottle down, will you? Weren't you bringing it to Diane anyway?
Alright. Vina, you came here to discuss the plans with Diane, right?
Yes.
See, Diane? I told you not to worry, didn't I? I'll go finish cleaning Zone 4. I've been on duty all day, and I didn't see anyone here.
Would you like a taste of the whiskey Patel left? It doesn't smell all that bad.
Diane shakes her head slightly, a bit downcast.
Mind if I have a sip then? Meeting with those dukes has left me perched. Madam Speaker, did you put me here because you really wanted to? We thought you'd feel better among old friends. You would rather I threw you in solitary? No, of course not. Honestly, I'm not as reluctant as you think. My past isn't much different from yours, or from that of most Londinians. Diane, I did hesitate over my decision. So, does your visit mean Parliament has come to a verdict? I feel it best that I inform you of Parliament's decision in person. I bid you adieu, Lieutenant Diane Weber of the former 6th Column, 10th Infantry Regiment. You are unquestionably a war hero. Thank you for your great service to our homeland. Parliament? I see. Madam Speaker, when will it happen? Tomorrow. Alright. Have you any regrets? Have you? Perhaps my biggest regret is that after the war, I didn't immediately strip off this outfit and hide myself away back in Norport. You would have never have done that. I know you. The siege will never abandon our homeland, and the Speaker of Londinium will never abandon Victoria. I have no regrets either, Vina. May I call you that? You may. We've met many times and fought side by side just as often, but today, I think, is the first day we can truly call ourselves friends. Vina, before I go, would you share a drink with me? When you walked alone into the palace of Vestalag, everyone believed that the woman who emerged would be wearing the crown. A hero must one day be crowned king. Every collection of fairy tales in that old bookstore on Baker Street had a story like that. It was my favorite place to go before I enlisted. I really did want to witness history, Vina. But I let you down. I let a lot of people down. Yes, you could have been a great ruler. Just because I wanted to make Londinium a better place? Didn't the old king, the one who was hanged public, also want to make Londinium, to make all of Victoria a better place? Things rarely go as planned. Sometimes what you believe is right may look wrong to others. I've only recently begun to understand that. Then what's there to do? I'm still searching for that answer, Diane. Someone I trust told me to try to accept those who hate me and to stand firm in my own sense of justice. I'm still learning, but I never imagined this path would be so lonely. You're drunk, Vina.
Vina shakes her head. She draws her sword and hands it to Diane.
Do you remember King Asika? The Signs of Kings? Yes, I took it from your own hands after all. After the battle, I discovered that it had completely dulled. The smiths worked tirelessly day and night to reforge it for me. This new sword is heavier. It carries the weight of even greater expectations than before. Diane, this sword reminds me every day of the right path. The future of Victoria doesn't rest with me or Parliament. It rests on all of you, those who reclaimed our home with their own strength. Vina, I have one last question. What really happened in the Palace of Vestalag that day? What kind of story would you like to hear? A heroic fairy tale that'll make it into the books of that old bookstore? Or the truth, so plain that it's almost boring?
Diane takes a long swig of her drink, her hand brushing over the cold steel of the sword.
To be honest, I prefer the old sword. When I used it to strike down our enemies, those were the moments I felt closest to Victoria. Back when I was living a simple, uneventful life, I never imagined I'd have thoughts like these. And besides, there's hardly any time left to savor those quiet pre-war days, is there? Vina, forgive me, but I can't save the last bit of this whiskey for you. I really need it. Why now, of all times, am I suddenly afraid to die? Vina, before I'm completely drunk, would you tell me one last fairy tale?
Her tears fall on the sword, sliding down its blade. Drip, drip.
Diane, you already know the stories of the past, and you were there for the best parts of this fairy tale. But you may not know how it ends. That day, I entered the Palace of Vestalag, torn down the Sarkaz banner, and was about to leave, when suddenly I heard someone call my name from the throne room. Alexandrina Vina Victoria. Then I pushed open the door that had been sealed for so long. I saw my father, Alistair II, speaking to me.
My Alexandrina, you're finally home. Come, sit by my side, daughter of Victoria. Vina couldn't make out the king's face. The golden mask blended with his golden hair, radiating authority and an air of mystery. He was Victoria personified. My daughter, are you afraid of me? Are you afraid of Victoria? Vina, never reveal even the slightest hint of fear to your subjects. Your teacher should have taught you that.
You died long ago. 26 years ago, they hanged you from the gallows.
Laughable. Who could kill Victoria? Those greedy condorings thought they could tear the flesh from my body to feed themselves. They were so blinded by fear that they conspired in regicide, also they could feast upon the lands of the Aslans for their own gain. But no one can kill us. Not the dukes, not the red dragon. We are the beating heart of Victoria.
So that's why your statue in the Mausoleum of Kings was never completed. The dukes never truly laid you to rest. You've been here all along.
What little courage they possess to draw them to confine me in this throne room, but never to claim my throne. Cowardly usurpers. They fear my people. They fear my Steam Knights. They fear us, Vina. My daughter, tell me, do my people still remember me? Do my knights still guard our palace?
The people of Victoria have long since adapted to life without a monarch. As for your knights, they're all gone. They were murdered by the very people they were sworn to protect.
And what of you, Vina?
I can barely remember what you look like.
Then come closer. Take off my mask and look closely. You'll see only yourself, Alexandrina. The blood of the royal line flows in us both. I'm sorry, my child, that I failed to keep my promise. I intended to hand you a peaceful and powerful Victoria. Your betrayal has left me sitting here, rotting on my throne for over 20 years. But at last, you've returned. Take my scepter, wear my crown. Proclaim to all people that their sovereign has returned. Purge our land of all dissent and punish every coward who betrayed the crown. Let glory endure. This is Victoria's rightful way. The king's scepter struck heavily against the throne platform, its dull echo reverberating.
Blood was never the source of our strength.
How familiar those words are. Just like my defiant boasts to my own father. You still have much to learn, my daughter. Let me teach you a long overdue lesson. The meaning of royal power. Still, I grant you the right to oppose me. Alexandrina, return to my side and listen.
No. You're already dead, Your Majesty. All that remains here is your echo, lost in the glories of a bygone empire. I do not need you to grant me anything, nor do I need you to validate the strength of my convictions. I just want you to rest in peace, Father.
Vina tightened her grip on her hammer, stepped onto the platform, and walked toward the Empire's last glimmer of twilight.
18号意志を堅固にするは規律。一歩も引かない。橋が崩れていくのを感じる。この意志を堅固にするは規律。驚きすぎてほうけたわ。ロック18号最大出力。よっしゃ。思考は明晰。私が聞いた恫喝を交渉は受け付けない。思考を明晰にする。 ってもんがあるのよ。思考を明晰にするは戦術。
やはりこうなりましたか。
土が崩れていくのを感じる。生の我が輩全員を倒さないと勝ちじゃないから。私たちの故郷は私たちで守る。生の救済シールを美しく
聞くつもりはありませんので、どうか迂回してください。
障害を全てなぎ払うのが嵐の務め。誰が逃げていいと言った。
強行突破はご遠慮願います。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。
仕事始まるぞ。
想像したことある。私たちの故郷は私たちで雑誌を倒すこと。毛上がりもいいところね。邪悪を壊滅しうる勇猛さ。
先生維持。治療がいる者は退け。一人の者は前へ。聞くつもり。
我が輩は右だよ。邪悪を壊滅しうる勇猛さ。子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。私が聞いた同国をあなたに教えてあげる。誰が逃げていいと言った。Mission accomplished.
Vina, I don't like this story. The king who found no peace in his eternal rest upon the throne. The hero who laid down her own crown. The story's over, but has anything really changed? You and King Alistair both wanted to make Victoria better, but in the end...
Diane takes a hard swig from the bottle. The burning liquor stings, coaxing more tears from her already swollen eyes.
If the king couldn't do it, then what hope do we have? How can we possibly change anything? But the story is not over yet, Diane. I had also believed it would all end when the king found peace. But then someone unexpected appeared. Should I even ask what brings you here?
A white figure emerges from the shadows behind the throne.
Faint glimpses of that fairy can be seen in so many of Victoria's legends. Power, intrigue, destiny, dreams coming true. Throughout these centuries-old tales, she seems to possess different powers, yet no one can say for certain which one is truly her. Vina, who did you see? I saw the unicorn. Vina, you far exceeded my expectations. You've shown me new possibilities. Put down your hammer. I am not your enemy. We fought side by side once, didn't we? Who are you, unicorn? A tailor's daughter, a leader of the Self-Salvation Corps, a witness to Victoria. Of course, many old men, even as they face death, insisted on calling me the nation's sentinel in their history books. Wishful thinking, I suppose. Over the hundreds of years I've remained in Victoria, I've assumed and later erased countless identities, but at present I am Clavicia. In short, I'm your friend. One sincerely pleased by all you've achieved. Does this answer satisfy you, Vina? Another one of the long-lived? You deceived every ally in the Self-Salvation Corps, as well as all of Rhode Island. Deceived? I've never deceived anyone. Everyone has their desires and merely fulfill them. Ordinary people tormented by Sarkaz bloodshed wanted to survive, so I let the Self-Salvation Corps to find a way out. Ancient families mired in power struggles feared annihilation in the Empire's whirlpool, so I eliminated every threat to the continuation of the ducal lineage. Frederick III hoped Victoria wouldn't fall into chaos beneath the Red Dragon's shadow. I could grant that wish too. So now you've come to me? Alexandrina, daughter of Alistair, why would you think I'm only just noticing you now? Vina, history is like a sailing ship, and you all are the ones who steer its course. Since you wish to change Victoria, I can help you. What role would you assume to realize your ideals? You could be a king, a speaker, or even the sole leader of the Exemplars. Any of these titles are yours to choose. Vina, I must say, yours isn't a new story. I've read far too many like it in old shops. In the end, the hero always accepts the fairy's gift, so in the end you chose the role of speaker. No, Diane, I chose nothing. For hundreds of years the unicorn has chosen the heroes, and the heroes have merely chosen their boons. But why? Why? Yes, why did I have to choose her? Why are you laughing, Vina? Do you hear that sound outside? They're cheering for Victoria, for victory. Many of them do not have grand ambitions. They don't think of protecting anyone. Some of them would not even share a piece of bread with a starving man. Yet they are still willing to risk their lives for even the smallest sliver of hope. They are my Victoria. I like those fools, and I'm willing to look out for them. And you, Clavicia, have no right to make me choose something I've been doing all along. You'd best leave unless you don't mind it getting awkward.
Siege!
You're a fool too, Alexandrina. Just like your father. Send them a message for me. Tell them the tailor's daughter is dead. I fulfilled their wishes.
Siege! I got a crawler in here to back you up! We've been waiting outside for you forever. We were afraid something happened to you.
It's been taken care of. Thank you, Feist.
Huh?
Come on then. Aren't they still all waiting for us? This battle must end now. That's the end of the story, Diane. Diane?
The condemned soldier has finished the last drop of alcohol and is sound asleep. Diane wanted to drink herself into a stupor. Vina has finished telling her story, but Diane cannot bring herself to face her own ending. She wanted to drink herself into a dream in which even death could not catch up to her. She gets her wish.
I'm sorry, Diane. I am not worthy of being a monarch. I'm not even sure I'm qualified to serve as speaker. Besides, this war has changed many things. Old beliefs have been shattered, and we are striving to rebuild our lives amidst the imminent threat of destruction. I believe that soon a great transformation will begin in Londinium and sweep across all of Victoria. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I am certain of one thing. Now that we've found the courage to face adversity, why should we ever return to the past? Victoria no longer needs a monarch, Diane. Sweet dreams. On the eve of her march to the gallows, the drunken soldier sleeps the most peaceful sleep of her life. She dreams of the king's coronation. She dreams of the factory in her hometown, the whistle blowing to signal the end of the workday, as the workers shake off their hats and step out through the factory gates. Then she soars into the sky and sees Londinium gliding across the mist-covered verdant earth. She dreams of Victoria. She's singing her song. May the vast lands they keep our king, his people and all his well-meaning ye, and give them grace without ending. Then may we call and safely sing. Victoria, give thanks for our home. Speaker's Office, December 26th, 3:58 p.m.
Vina, I can't believe it. The graffiti on the gym wall is still there. Look at this one. Morgan painted it after dreaming of being a famous artist. Oh, right. Look at this photo. The sign on the movie theater has been nailed back up. And look, there are two dumb-looking foul beasts perched on top of it. Narrated is in much better shape than last time we saw it. I can't wait to go back and see it with my own eyes.
Uh-huh. So, where did these photos come from?
The envelope only had the photos, no signature. But plenty of people have joined the engineering team to help rebuild our home. Some of them are old friends for Norport. Oh, there are two videotapes in here too. They're just some old, worn-out movies, but hey, Delphine, you love watching bad movies, don't you? Here you go.
Thank you.
Vina, are you okay? You seem a bit distracted.
Are you all going back?
Why the serious look? We're just heading home early to do some housekeeping. Morgan, you were more excited than anyone when we said we were going home. Or am I missing something?
How about you, Dagda?
I'll go lend them a hand. There's not much I can help with here, Vina. The Knights of the Tower Museum is coming along smoothly. My wish has been fulfilled.
Alright.
Vina, actually, we could still...
The bell tolls.
It's 4 p.m., Vina.
I know. We can set out now.
Do you want to go see Diane?
No, I have a meeting with Parliament and the Dukes.
Oh. Vina, those protesters outside...
I'll handle them personally. I know their concerns go beyond just Diane. They've been waiting a long time for a king.
Huh. Well, that's definitely something the Glasgow gang can meddle in.
Morgan.
Alright. We'll head back and tidy up. You know, Norport is better than I expected. But not by much. We'll be waiting for you, Vina.
Vina, you could ask them to stay. Of course, I love for the Glasgow gang to stay together, but Auchterich isn't their home. Besides, just take a listen. There are plenty of people outside waiting for my response, but before I address them, I tend to bring back more than just empty promises from the Dukes.
Vina, Parliament has done more than just make empty promises. They've helped revive our industries, restore order, resettle those affected by the war.
Tell me, Delphine, does everyone now have an equal right to a decent life? I need to show them that even without a king, we can prove this nation's potential to any doubters. Let's go. I don't want to be late for the meeting with the Dukes.
We should sing something. Sing, what? Any song will do, as long as it's not that blasted out there carol. Like the song Hannah hums every time she steps out of the ring. Hannah's a star, knocking him down one by one, round after round. Stop it! I don't do that anymore! Besides, didn't you all say the song I made up to cheer Vina was better? Oh please, if I remember, you just replaced all the names of Dagda's favorite song with Vina, right? I wonder if Vina even remembers something that silly. Of course she does. I know she must have forgotten. It's just, forget it. She said it's best herself. Looking forward is what really matters. And there's still a long road ahead, isn't there?
That day, we didn't take a detour to watch Diane's end. We didn't listen to any radio broadcasts. I heard her neuropathy was so bad that I had to separate her to prevent any incidents. To think that her last shred of dignity came from neuropathy. I've stopped trying to make sense of these things. As we left central Londinium and caught sight of the factories of Norpor, I knew we were home. The Cinecelled, Parliamentary Chamber, December 26th, 5:01 p.m. Vina, are you not attending the execution? They are relying on you to calm the many protesters there should things take an unfortunate turn. My good Earl of March, I'm not that indispensable. Besides, the defense forces are already maintaining order on site, and several MPs are there to oversee the proceedings. They don't need me. Diane Weber truly was a hero. Shame, really. She didn't really do anything wrong. Alexandrina, you've managed this matter well. But you need to be more heavy-handed. You're too concerned with dissenting voices, most of which don't matter. Madam Speaker, why not let us shield you from the storm until Londinium's parliament fully matures? Wellington's stance remains ambiguous. The Vladimir de Mesny is shimmering with unrest, and the Duke of Ashford continues to keep a low profile as always. If the Speaker requires assistance, we wouldn't dare refuse. We must secure Victoria's future. Very well, since you've offered, I won't hesitate to accept. Your Graces, you are undoubtedly aware of the dire situation with the infected within the city. I must insist that you promptly reopen the supply route you have kept closed for over a month under the guise of ensuring safety. Return the medicine and supplies we've already paid for. Of course, if you're still concerned, the defense forces can escort the shipment and clear out those bandits along the way. Of course, those are minor issues. Now, how about my proposal for forming and training infected fighting squads? I understand you're considering forming infected units in your own territory and want us to test its feasibility. That's fine, but I insist that the safety of these soldiers remains a priority. I'll make all the data available to you, of course, and to every other duke. After all, this has critical implications for the future strength of Victoria, doesn't it? This is no simple matter, Madam Speaker. In truth, it has given me quite a headache. I'll be waiting eagerly for some good news from you. As for your Grace, Duke of Castor, the Trilby Ashers should soon be delivering an invitation. After all these years, Londinium will finally reopen diplomatic channels with foreign envoys, this time in the name of Victoria. I trust you all will be in attendance when the time comes. But you best pray that Londinium presents herself in a form you can be proud of. I'll consider this a provocation, Alexandrina. From the moment you deliberately blocked Londinium from contacting other nations after the war, you've been provoking Parliament. You call it protection. Where I'm from, we have another word for it: kidnapping. Unfortunately for you, we always have our ways of reaching those who we want. Oh, Vina, is it my turn to negotiate now? No, Earl of March, we have nothing to discuss, and certainly no need to be friends. I'm afraid that's not for you to decide.
Whatever your intentions may be, Londinium's affairs are none of Columbia's business. It seems you found what you need to refuse any deals with me. All I have is a few photos. Surely you're aware of what's hidden beneath Londinium, right? Oh? Vina, it seems you've managed to find yourself some leverage. Alexandrina, I admire your candor, but I must remind you, you're the Speaker of Parliament now, not just some street thug with the Glasgow gang. Well, do you know how we used to keep corrupt cops away back in Norport? Either everyone pretends nothing happened and keeps things as they are, or we expose all their dirty laundry and everyone goes down in flames. It worked every time. And I'm sure your graces understand that it has always been Victoria who has kept you safe, not the other way around. I believe your grace has even said something of a similar nature before. Alexandrina, I'm starting to doubt the decision of choosing you as speaker. You're mistaken. The decision was mine all along, not yours. I know your schedules are packed, so let's not digress anymore. I have a long list of things to discuss with you: parliament seats, medical purchases, military reform, private communication lines, supply routes, aid for reconstruction. So let's not waste time. Of course, you're free to continue arguing with me. Don't worry, this time my sword won't be on your necks.
She's coming! Everyone, get over here! If we can make the speaker hear us, we can save that poor soldier's life! On the street, the eagerly awaiting crowd surrounds Vina, who stands alone. She knows they're all waiting for her answer. You've heard us! That innocent hero doesn't deserve this fate! It's not too late to change your mind!
Sorry, I have nothing to say with regard to Diane. The Parliament has decided. As its speaker, I stand by its decision. Everyone please disperse. Then again, if you absolutely insist on a resolution, you're welcome to stay. Just now I reclaim many things from the visiting dukes, things that rightfully belong to us and are crucial to our future. I will tell you about each of these things, one by one. This is the only matter I'll be addressing.
The sounds of protest begin to subside. While most await the outcome of the meeting, a few discontent voices still rise from the crowd. Is there really nothing that can be done for that poor soul? But why? This isn't something that needs explaining. Do you want the speaker to go back on her word? If we start bending the rules now, the new laws passed by Parliament won't be worth the paper they're printed on.
Catherine, what brings you here?
Some old friends passing by saw the protests and worried things might get out of hand, so they asked me to see if I could help. As luck would have it, quite a few workers just got off their shifts, heard about it, and came to support you. Take a look. As more and more workers gather around, they wave at Vina and spot familiar friends and family members among the protesters. Conversations begin to ripple through the crowd, and the street suddenly comes alive with activity. Looks like we're a bit late.
Lieutenant? Aren't you supposed to be waiting at the sanatorium for your departure?
Delphine told me about your situation. I wasn't planning to come, but once the others at the sanatorium found out, they insisted on coming to see who was causing you trouble this time. I couldn't stop them, so here we are. A column of soldiers, marching in perfect formation and singing, approaches the congested crowd. The noise instantly dies down as people instinctively make way for the soldiers, who march up to stand in front of Vina, forming a barrier between her and the protesters. Vina, we all know you went to negotiate with the dukes today to fight for us. We're not about to let you be humiliated in front of the dukes today. We might not be ready for another battle, but we'll win anyone in numbers.
Thank you, all of you. Everyone, come quick! I think they're over there!
A group of rowdy children fearlessly push through the crowd, squeezing their way right up to Vina.
It's really you. You know me? Of course! We've all heard your story. The great hero of the Exemplars, our own speaker. I've made so many new friends recently. They're all people who walked back to Londinium with you. They told me you would definitely recognize them. Take a look. Hello, Vina. Annie? And there's Annabelle. Oh, Jones, you're here too. I guess they are really telling the truth then. But why have you come? We ran into this lady with really tan skin. She said you might run into trouble and told us to come and help you. Did we actually help? Of course you did. Thank you, Morgan.
More and more people gather in front of the steps, while those who had been protesting for Diane start to quiet down. She thinks about everything that has happened over the past few days. She thinks about the drunken Diane, the departing Glasgow gang, and the stolen crown.
Bloody hell.
Vina relaxes, sitting down on the steps and gazing at the fiery red sky. The retired soldiers sit as well, huddling with the other citizens around Vina.
Let's all take a break, okay? Can I ask you something? Will we have a king again? I don't know. But not having a king might not be such a bad thing. Why is that? You'll understand when you grow up.
What do you think? Will this be good or bad for Victoria? It's still too early to tell. If we have to accept the dawn of a new era, then we all need to change the way we think to keep up. A parliament regulated by the people, no more individual authority, no king. That's a first in Victorian history. Even I have to admit, she may well be biting off more than she can chew. Catherine glances at the speaker, who is sitting on these steps without her expected grace, and can't help but wonder. Vina is surrounded by children. They all smile and laugh together. Every so often she raises her voice to share jokes about the dukes, or what she managed to wrestle from the dukes, things that belonged to the people. The sunset's warm light bathes her figure, before slowly fading as the time passes. I'd say the days ahead will only get better. She breathes out a ring of smoke, watching as the thin wisps drift away into the dying light. Parliament has passed a resolution. The crown will be placed on the throne in the Palace of Vestalag, guarded around the clock by the defense forces. Until a suitable candidate for the throne is identified, the crown will be guarded by Parliament. Once a candidate is chosen, a nationwide referendum will be conducted under parliamentary review and supervision to finalize the coronation. Additionally, Parliament will soon announce decisions regarding the distribution of living supplies and other public welfare matters.
Parliamentary supervision.
These meetings are truly exhausting. I much prefer settling matters at a grand banquet. At least there's wine when my lips are parched. Sir Davis is certainly taking his sweet time fetching that wine. Your Grace, Duke of Castor, where are you headed next?
You already know the answer, so why pretend to ask?
Getting the news from you is quicker than waiting for Wellington spies to report back. So how about you, Eleanor?
Your Grace, we're hardly close enough to be exchanging warm farewells.
Your words wound me, Eleanor. I suppose I'll have to present a fine bottle of wine on my next visit to old Normandy and ask him to put in a good word about me to you.
Your carriage has arrived, sir. Allow me to get the door for you.
Much obliged, Earl of March.
And remember, we are all Victorians, after all. Of course.
Oh, it's been so long since I last heard these bells. The sound brings back memories.
Your Grace, I've brought you one of the finest wines from our cellar. Even though Sarkaz devils couldn't sniff this one out after they took my estate.
Sir Davis, you are a man of rare wit. Rest assured, there will always be a place for you in the Godolin territories. The Duke of Godolin takes a sip of wine and turns to make a remark, but then suddenly freezes. He is confronted with a stunning sight. The sun has set. The crimson sun sinks slowly, as though setting the entire city ablaze. The scars the Sarkaz had torn into the city stand out even more vividly in the evening glow, as if they are still bleeding. The winter's sunset truly shows no mercy. Much like the speaker's attitude towards us, I suppose. I could send someone to deliver a few sets of winter clothing to your Grace. Take care of yourself. Victoria isn't ready to do without you just yet. Many thanks. After all, we can't very well go before Wellington, can we?
Why the sudden melancholy, your Graces? I find this sunset rather breathtaking. Day fades into night, and night into day. How often do we get to witness such a sight? Londinium's thick fog and heavy clouds rarely part like this.
Eleanor, back in the day, the lads at school would always joke that it was the sun that had to follow behind Londinium. It will rise as we please, and never set if we willed it. Now though, she has to go full speed, just to barely keep up with the setting sun. That thought keeps me awake at night.
Day or night, sunrise or sunset, only Londinium can be Victoria's capital. Earl of March, remember my words. Droll, very droll indeed.
The sun really does move. Another bell tolls. More black-feathered fowl bees stir and take to the skies over the city, circling before flying through the steam toward the setting sun. As the sun dips out of sight, the glow of the twin moons becomes ever clearer. Night approaches. Alright, so first and foremost, big salute again to Diane. Rest in peace, brave soul. Good God, that's not the way you should have gone. Fuck. Yeah. That that be it. That be it for that one. Good God. Like, I understand the whole scene. It is very aggravating that is the way that it went, but, you know, when you just established a parliament, you just established the rule from the parliament and from the citizens of the city, are you immediately gonna step over them? Just to let one person pass? Are you immediately gonna loosen them? Good God, that was the worst. The worst possible thing that could have happened immediately after establishment of the new government and everything. Damn. Good God. The only little thing that is kind of good about it. God, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. The only kind of good thing about it is that it's less painful than exploding because of neuropathy. Doesn't feel right. Anyhow, yeah. Fighting dear old Daddy-O, aka Alistair II, as a boss was not on my bingo card. I thought the way the story was going, I legitimately thought there was gonna be some kind of clash between Ellerdale and Vina at the end. I mean, I don't think I'm the only one who presumed that from the get-go of the story, the way everything was set up, especially with around the middle point of the story, where Vina declared the pursuit open for Ellerdale. I legitimately thought that's gonna be the battle, but nope, dear old Daddy-O was still around, and that guy was sealed. That guy was sealed in the throne room, and he was not able to move from the spot. Like, Jesus Christ. What the shit. But yeah. Oh, and of course, finally, the good old question finally properly answered as to who the long-lived one was in Londinium, even though for a while we kinda knew it already. The main story itself kinda already very heavily hinted upon it that it's Clovicia, and yeah, it's Clovicia. She is the long-lived one. Apparently some kind of the rumors that have spread around her and mythology around her pretty much paints her in stories like a fairy, but essentially she just helps people out. If they have a wish and they pose it towards her, she overhears it, she is gonna oblige by it, like she was saying there. And I guess this also answers our question as to who our dear vampire lady is searching for right now. Because she apparently left, Clovicia apparently left Londinium, and I don't know what she wants from her. Why is she so gang-ho about her? Because she's a long-lived one? Does Rhode Island want something with more long-lived people? I guess they do. I mean, I guess they do. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be like, but considering that this is what it points at, that what's her name actually? I know, like I said before, I know that she's becoming playable, the vampire lady. I keep forgetting her unit name. I think it's something with Entelekia? Was that the name? I'm legitimately trying to dig it out of my brain right now. I saw it like once. I know I recognize the name from something else. I think it's Entelekia. But I'm not 100% sure right now. Anyhow, she is gonna become playable in a couple of months, and she's coming with her own story, including another person who is gonna become playable, another character from main story, together with her. And I'm presuming right now, don't spoil it of course, I'm presuming that is what the story is about, that she's gonna be after Clovicia in that story. We'll see. I mean, there's another story that is gonna be taking place in Victoria and gonna be dealing with Tara, but that one is gonna be its own thing. But yeah, we'll see in the future when that comes around. Also, that little scene with everybody coming together to support Vina was very, very adorable. And hey, Shearer was in a CG. Damn, son, he made it. He's so important, he was actually put in a CG. Oh my god. That one actually caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, he's in the CG. Good god, Shearer, please don't give me heart problems. This game is already enough. enough heart problems as it is. But anyhow, we have one more scene to go and then we can do the proper ramble. So, our final epilogue scene, titled Fairy Tale Ending. There will come a day that you, Vina, will read these words I wrote down. Streets of Norport, December 26th, 5:23 p.m.
How things go on your end, Dagda?
Mr. Lane's still alive, but he's got a busted leg. His sworn brother didn't make it though. I tried asking some old friends. None of them know when that brother passed away exactly. Might have been when trying to escape Norport. Might have been some Sarkaz at the end of their tether during the Allied counterattack.
Did you manage to see Mr. Lane himself?
I did. He works at the port now. He didn't bring up the old days and he avoided talking about his crew. But he thinks that now he's living a good life.
Bloody hell! I strolled around one of the factories we used to look after. It's full of little punks now. None of those youngsters have even heard of us Glasgow gang. That pack of brats deserves a right trashing.
Did you swing by the old restaurant we always went to?
Torn down. Parliament sent some man over to get in touch with all the old shopkeeps. Anything so run down it couldn't be fixed up, and whose owner was missing, was slated to be torn down and rebuilt. The pub on Sunset Street, Paul's Bar, the magazine stall that Run from Casimir's ran, they're all gone.
Hannah...
I checked out the public cemetery they were talking about too. I couldn't find McLaren or... Damn it. Why don't these graves have names on them? Stuff me! Can't believe you got me crying! That's at home already. Don't wanna leave Morgan waiting.
I thought the gym was going to be a rougher sight. Thank you. Looks to me like you've been taking care of the place this whole time.
I thought if you were still alive, you'd be coming back sooner or later. Doesn't matter how you look at it, I'm still a part of the Glasgow gang.
You didn't get on Duke Windermere's ship with us back then.
I wasn't so far gone that I needed saving by the Dukes. But I gotta admit, I was being a right fool back then. After all that, I took some of the crew out to fight some devils hanging around Norport. I ended up hearing about the exemplars from them. You pulled off some crazy stunts I could never dream of. An army, huh. When the battle outside was in total chaos, some of the gang helped out on the front line with me. But there wasn't much we could do. All I got in the end was a few cuts and bruises.
You were infected too?
Yep. Heard the same happened to Indra after she took a bad scrape on the battlefield not long ago. She's real lucky she had friends like you there with her. Morgan stares blankly ahead. She'd never considered that problem. Not even Indra herself had.
No, that ain't right. Why do I feel funny hearing you say that? Though I gotta admit, I'm not sure what's not right about what you said.
Whatever you say. Anyway, if you ever get the chance, tell CJ said sorry.
If you stick around, you could tell her yourself.
My Glasgow gang's long gone. Since you're coming back, it's only right that I head out. Did Delphine not come back with you?
She's standing by Vina's side.
Huh. Sounds like you lot had a squabble too. I heard about her mom from a broadcast. Doesn't matter who she might be, at least she got some nerve.
Where are you headed off next?
Norport needs some more hands to rebuild it, and the port's busy shuttling in goods from outside all day every day. Me and the crew are gonna keep an eye on it. And then And then I'll head into Central to bash in some merchant bastard's head. That's only a maybe. Norport's changed, Morgan. The folks I know are gone, and the shops too. There's some new gang of brats that's popped up. None of their arse from their elbow, yet they're still trying to fight for dominance. Anyway, I'm giving the gym back to you lot. Parliament talked a big game in that broadcast of theirs. I talked it over with some of the boys. We'll wait a spell. Then head over to some other dukedom to see what's what. We'll find a new turf. A new turf, a new beginning. I'll need some time to forget a few things.
Morgan? Was that Kander leaving just now?
Yep. He came to say goodbye and decided to hand this back to us while he was at it.
She pulls out a butterfly knife from her pocket. It's badly scratched, but the emblem of the Glasgow gang can still be clearly seen. Baird's butterfly knife. Hannah would recognize it anywhere. It was her who insisted on engraving that emblem once she beat Baird, after all.
Gator found it on the body of a cleaner. He couldn't find Baird herself, though.
I went there too. All I found was some stuff on the wall I didn't get. It's almost all gone, what with the rain and all. But I'm sure she was there. I saw her handwriting. I hope so too.
I hope so too. What did Bear hope for? We thought about it long and hard, but we were never able to make sense of it. Her wishes had already been washed back into Norport's soil by the rain. We decided not to dwell on it much longer. We never could guess her last little secret. She's definitely having a good laugh at us right now.
I remember that whenever we went to the video shop, Baird hated VP scenes about grieving the most. Yeah, she never thought death was worth being all that sad for.
Pass the knife to me. I'll think of a way to hang it up on the wall.
Then I'll get some more drinks to celebrate us coming home and a toast to Baird. Should we wait for Vina? She ain't got the time to come.
But just in case...
Then we'll hold off right before we get completely pissed, Hannah. Booze waits for no man.
That day, without having to say a word on the matter, we all drank our drinks real slow. We were waiting for one more person. It seems there was a lot of chit-chat going on that day, not that we remember any of it after the hangover. All I remember is that Hannah and I got in a fight, and Dagda's brow got itself another scar. Why? None of us knew. If Vina were there, it'll all be fine. She always stayed the most sober out of all of us, and she'd remember for us. But she never showed up that day. Drag the body back, boss. But will this really be okay? I mean, snatching away the corpse of a condemned criminal from right under Parliament's nose.
Did you really think you could take that away without some silent approval from above?
Huh?
What of the Colombian?
He's not in the best of moods, boss. Do we really need him to carry the goods? What if... Milskar says nothing. The mercenary sighs. Alright, I get it. Look, boss, I'm not trying to make you mad, but ever since Parliament made a move on us, everyone's been on edge.
It doesn't concern you a lot. I'll handle the Colombian. Eliseo, I presume I don't need to introduce myself.
Milskar, I've heard about you.
Good, no need to waste words then. I need you to see this batch of goods out of Londinium. You will of course receive payment. I can send this corpse along with you. Leave the city and go as far away from it as you can.
Her name is Diane, Milskar.
Who she is isn't important to me. What's important is that she doesn't show her face again in Londinium.
You call this payment? Making someone who just got home leave again?
Eliseo, you are well aware she cannot stay in the city. As far as everyone is concerned, she is dead. Hanged from the gallows. Vina made a mistake. So long as this person is alive and within the city, sooner or later someone is going to use her as a knife to stab Vina in the back. She really must learn to be more decisive. You know the condition of her infection better than I do, Eliseo. She doesn't have long. You're welcome to refuse, of course, but I will still help Vina settle this matter, in my own way.
I know your story, Milskar, or rather, Lady Allerdale Cumberland. There's a lot of versions of it out there, but they all agree you really did fit with the title of Cumberland the Ever on High, once upon a time. Fine, I'll get Diane out of here. I can take better care of her back in Columbia. Happy?
You're a good man, Eliseo. She's lucky to have made a friend in you. Get ready. You could be leaving at any time.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Did you ever think you'd turn out this way?
Why ask just me? Countless heroes lived through the war, from the most radiant of them to those that none remember. I too am curious as to how they will change in the face of reality.
Lying down amidst the meadow, the soldier senses a slight itch. The cold wind blows at these stalks of grass, and their tips tickle her face. Is this what the land of the dead is like? She opens her eyes and sees someone most unexpected.
What?
You're awake.
You,
It's me, Eliseo. You shouldn't just go off on your own to do dangerous stuff without a word, Diane.
I remember standing on top the gallows.
You're dead, at least to those who witnessed the execution. Before we left, I asked the people at Rhode Island to give you a once-over. It's not looking too good. A lot of your major organs have already begun to crystallize. In other words, Originium is replacing those organs.
So, I'm not dead? Am I lucky or unlucky?
I'm not sure if the speaker knew about this beforehand.
So it was Vina who let me go? That's rather foolish of her.
To tell you the truth, I really don't get some of you people. Sorry, Diane. I'm afraid you can't go back to Londinium. Only now does she realize they are no longer in Londinium. She sees the telltale giant tracks laid down by the nomadic city not too far off in the distance. Just ahead of them, Sarkaz children run around in the meadow, waving at her as they pass. Most displaced Sarkaz have lost the light in their eyes to confusion. They can go anywhere, but nowhere can they call home. I'll be taking you to Columbia, Diane. I might be able to do more for you there.
Alright then, Columbia. I still remember saying that if I get the chance, I'd love to see the place you keep talking about. How far are we from Columbia, Eliseo?
Well, still very far away. Let me get out of my map.
Will I be able to make it there in my condition? Walking the whole way? I see. Could you promise me one thing, Eliseo?
I know what you're going to ask, Diane. When the day comes, I'll bring you home. I'll bring you back to Londinium. I'm rather curious myself as to how much the city would have changed by the time we return. The day we went back to the gym and got drunk, I had a dream. In that dream, there was a tomb, all dressed up to the nines. Our names were carved onto the plaques inside it. Morgan, Kate Morgan, Indra, Hannah Jackson, Dagda, Isabel Montague, Baird, Bridget Lucan. Outside the tomb, there was a blazing carriage, and atop it sat a golden lion. He was calling my name. Vina Victoria.
Blanket? Nobody's blanket on me. Ugh, my head hurts real bad. What time is it? Morgan, didn't I tell you not to drink like a sodding vine all the time? Huh. Considering how wild Hannah and the rest can get, shouldn't you be looking after them? Vina? Vina!
Morgan nimbly launches herself out of the sofa, leaping over the short table to throw herself at Vina.
Vina, you came over! I thought... You thought what? But why didn't you wake me, Hannah?
Weren't you yapping and yowling yesterday about how she definitely wasn't coming? Look at you. You turned out the most excited out of all of us.
No, I'm not.
Stubborn prick.
Quiet down, Morgan. Dagda's still asleep.
The one resting her head atop Indra's lap twitches her ears, still lost within a lovely drunken dream.
Seems like Dagda drank the most out of you lot. I tidied up a lot of empty bottles. She must have been in a real rotten mood, Vina. Sorry. I just hope I'm not too late.
Well, of course you're not. Wasn't what you said yesterday, Morgan. Shut it, Hannah.
Welcome home, Vina. I was really hoping to pop in earlier, but there's simply far too much to handle over at Parliament. Then, how do you... I'm afraid I've given Horn another headache to deal with. I suspect she'll only just have discovered I slipped away.
Then, does that mean you need to head back?
I can't run away from my responsibilities. But I owe you all an apology. Vina, you don't need to... Siege? Vina? How long have I been asleep?
Relax, Vina only just arrived back.
That knife hanging on the wall. It's hers. Cater brought it back. Cater?
Vina never brought up having to head back the whole day, but we all knew that the Siege Vina, the boss of the Glasgow gang, the ever-victorious king of the Slobberknocker, and one of my best friends, could leave us at any moment. So I was loath to lose a single moment where I could tell Vina about all the changes in Norport that she hadn't had the chance to see yet. Kader, Mr. Lane, the video shop, the reworked port, the rebuilt stores, a handful of old friends who rushed home after hearing the news. Of course, who could forget about the inexperienced little buggers who wanted to take over our gym? After Vina beat them all to Kingdom Come with a smile on her face, they apologized by way of a few cartons of beer and said they wanted to join us. Seems like Norport's forgotten about us, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. The war was really over.
Do you still remember this place? Why don't we get back to our little games, see who's fastest this time around?
Before Vina has even finished speaking, Indra has already begun to set off.
Hannah, you lousy cheat! She didn't say nothing about the countdown. I'm still the champ here. You've gotten slower ever since your injury, Hannah. Say that after you've caught up. What's going on? Wait for me. Don't fall behind, Delphine. Follow me. Here, Adele. You're a real slowpoke.
Several figures speed through the streets, and a few workers heading home after work give an inquisitive glance at the brash crew. They can't quite seem to remember who this gang is. Must be another bunch of outsiders just arrived at Norport. Maybe. High above the gaps between the factories, the Glasgow gang returned to a favorite spot of theirs. Here they can look down upon the squatting factories and look out at the Shard's pointed peak over at Central. It was here that they started, and it was here that they left home. After a long period of wandering about, they have finally returned to this familiar place. But
I left a glass for Baird. Sure you don't want a tipple, Dagda? No, thank you. I'm not going to embarrass myself in front of Vina again. I'll give your share to her then. Just fruit juice for you, Del? Don't call me that. I'm still not too used to alcohol. Suit yourself. I'll keep watch over you all. Oh, yeah! Finally the part we can start bloody drinking! To Baird! To the Glasgow gang! To Baird! To the Glasgow gang! To Rhode Island! To the Exemplars! To everyone who fought in the war. And to all those who risked their lives coming home. To all those who live and who left. To all those still by our side. To all those who shed blood and tears. To all those who struggle in darkness and in pain. To Victoria. To Victoria!
there is no need for sorrow. The living engrave the moment in their memories, while those who have left leave behind their hopes and dreams. The foul beasts croon as they spiral overhead, echoing their words.
You heading off too, Delphine? Only for a short while. I need to get back to Linkardin. Shearer will come along to recuperate. If you ever get real fed up of those lousy bastards, you can always come back here. This is your home too. Of course I will. I promised Vina after all. If there's ever a day you feel like it's all too much for you, Vina, I'll come back. But I think I can handle it. I hope the Londinians can live in peace and happiness, and I hope that everyone can live their best lives. It's what they deserve. Everyone should be like us, smiling, without a tear in sight or an empty belly to be heard. I'm not going to let everything we've accomplished go to waste. If someone tries to take it from us, I'll fight back. Just like how we looked after this place back then. Vina, Alexandrina, either's fine. There's no difference the way I see it. No? If Baird were here, that's what she'd want me to do. You're right, Vina. I really do hope so. To the Glasgow gang, to all of you. Welcome home, everyone.
Vina left us on the morning of the day after. She didn't let us see her off. Maybe she didn't want to wake us. In truth, we were all awake. I watched her change into those clothes I was never fond of, and walk off on her lonesome towards central Londinium. I hope Vina managed to get a real good night's sleep, the best she's had in a long while. After all, it's only when she's at home that she doesn't need to think about anything. I spent the entire night writing down everything that happened the day Vina came home, no matter how big or small. I believe there will come a day that you, Vina, will read these words I wrote down. They might not be of too much use, but I can help you remember some of the more easily forgotten things. Vina, do you still remember that dream I wrote about earlier? In that dream, there was a tomb, all dressed up to the nines. Our names were carved onto the plaques inside it. Outside the tomb, there was a blazing carriage, and atop it sat a golden lion. He was calling my name. Vina Victoria. I dreamt I was you. I dreamt of a time I was all old and withered, some afternoon decades after I lost touch with my Glasgow friends. I walked into the tomb that Siege built for the gang. I cherished that unforgettable memory that is no longer mine. I cherished the tale that started in Norport. Vina, from the day you put on those clothes, I knew. In the end, you walk alone. You have no choice but to walk alone. I'm sorry. There's no way for us to help you or to stay by your side. But I wanted to let you know, we will always be here. The Glasgow gang will always be here. To you, Vina Victoria. The Memoir of Alexandrina by Kate Morgan. So first off, I will not apologize for the speech that I was giving about Diane before this cutscene, because that one took effort to not break into laughter or snicker doing it or anything else. So you're in the same boat as I was when I was reading the story originally. Welcome. You are welcome. I hope I got someone. I hope I got someone with the speech I gave about the Diane before this cutscene began, and then you saw the cutscene and was like, wait, didn't he say she's dead? Wait, what? Wait. I am sorry, and I'm not sorry about that at all. But yeah, I was so busy keeping myself in character not to break that I completely forgot to introduce our two bosses. Well, a boss and a mini-boss essentially for the stage. Well, anyway, we have Alistair, Final Flame of the Empire. The Final Flame of the Empire, a spectre adorned with a rusted crown. Refute him, refute Victoria's supreme glory and authority, he will examine the evidence he may yet forgive. And our other big boy is the armor of the Empire. Royal guards who swore an oath of eternal loyalty to Victoria. In the king's memories, their steel bodies lined up to form mountains, and white steam covered the sky above. Not gonna lie, when I was playing through the stage the first time around, and I pretty much beat Alistair, and when this big boy dropped in, I shit a brick. And then you beat him and then a second one drops in. At least they are not as tough as their counterpart. As the original counterpart. That one was a beast. But then again, that was a Giga Chad. That was Sir Charles. But yeah, that is our entire story. We are done. And yeah, we shall proceed now in the quick after ramble of the story and discuss all the stuff, while in the meantime, this thing can run some stages for me. We need the rocks, and these characters need some trust. But yeah, this was definitely a story. My god, I don't even know where to begin. First off, I said it a couple of times, but seeing the whole story like being a post-war and how the people are essentially dealing with the whole rebuilding of their nation, of their city more than likely, but also kind of rebuilding the nation at the same time was pretty good. Very nice to see. The whole post-war depression is heavy. Like, Jesus. That was such a heavy, and it was pretty good written as well, like, presented how people are coping with it, how they're dealing with it, how they're feeling about it. I mean, I myself might have been a child when it happened, and only came post everything back, but again, I've said it in earlier episodes in some points and in other places, but essentially from 91 to 95, Croatia was where I am, was in a war, and the post-war stuff was, yeah, I mean, you could say still to this day you can feel stuff. You can feel stuff after that when it comes around. I mean, there's still like a shit ton of minefields everywhere because of what happened. But, yeah, the post-war stuff, I remember when I came back as a child, I might have not really known what was heavily going on with everybody else, but in hindsight, when you get older and you remember stuff back, yeah, definitely people were going through the motions, so I can kinda a bit feel it, kinda a bit, but again, I was a child when that was kinda a thing. But I do remember at least from like personal experience from like in school, how some kids would say some stuff, and later when you become older you kind of realize they were saying that stuff because you know, because it was something they picked up from their parents or from their surroundings. So it's kind of like, that's not a good thing, but it is what it is after all. But yeah, anyway, personal stuff aside, this story, right? Well, I am happy that the story ended on a like bittersweet note. First off, also that Baird moment at the end. Those motherfuckers. I have seen so many scenes in so many games where people do this stuff where, well, writers do that stuff where they introduce, like, in a last moment or a blink of a moment, they introduce the character, a dead character's ghost literally appearing on the scene just to cheer someone on for a brief moment or welcome them home or something like that. And it gets me every time. It gets me goddamn every time. I hate it. I hate it and I love it. I mostly love it, but I hate it. But anyway, everybody got something out of it. I do love that the memoirs are titled towards Vina, actually, and not on Morgan's name. Morgan is just the author, but it's the memoirs of Vina Victoria, so that's kinda very funny and very sweet, actually. And yeah, what else to say? God damn it, Lyle, shut up, I can hear you in the background. Sorry. But yeah, we got a couple of questions answered, like I said earlier, Clovicia being our long-lived one. And we got to see some other stuff and how the Sarkaz made it out of Londinium without being slaughtered by everybody. But it was essentially a joint effort by everybody from well, let's put it this way. It was a joint effort by the Sarkaz themselves, or rather probably Therese's threatening every single nation that exists and telling them, hey, look, you will let us go, or I will use this thing that I have in my hands to destroy all of your nations. So, you know, it's a thing, right? But yeah, that got answered how they went out. Plus, then we also have Milskar, who was pretty much smuggling people out of the city and extorting everybody who wanted to get out of the city at the same time. But I guess you gotta make a living. Jeez. Ellerdale, seeing Ellerdale a lot, and I've seen you guys say it in the comment sections as well of pretty much every single episode that Ellerdale playable when. Yeah, I guess I would love to see her playable. I mean, she's one of those characters that at least you can twist it in a way that's understandable why she would become playable. Like, she could be like an underground character for convincing people, for getting a contract with Rhode Island to work in the shadows for them. I mean, we have a crapshoot of people already who are working in the dankness of the world, right? Why not another one? I mean, for the love of everything, we are literally getting someone who is on the level of a nation leader very soon. I cannot wait to hear the lore explanation for that. I cannot wait to hear it. What is gonna lead to it? Outside of yandere tendencies towards dear sister. But yeah, we'll see about that in the future. Anyhow, Ellerdale playable when, please? I do wonder how she would actually function if playable. I mean, she's definitely gonna be a guard. If they make her playable, she's definitely gonna be a guard. Like, I can't see her as anything else. She has a goddamn giant weapon from what's it called? From a Steam Knight, so, you know, she feels pretty offensive. Unless they make her into a specialist, that could also work. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the future brings. I would have honestly nothing against her being playable. Then our dear dukes. I mean, I don't really have much to say about Castor and Gododin. They are scheming little shits. Our new duke, however, Eleanor, aka Earl of March. Very interesting. I guess that's the best thing I can say. Very interesting. She is a merchant first and foremost, and it shows. And it kind of makes me more scared of her than the other dukes. She is the way more conniving and scheming one compared to compared to the other dukes. And I guess we'll see in the future where she's gonna go to and what is gonna be happening with her. She definitely had a grand entrance into the whole thing. Good God, I can heal Laios again. Why do you need trust, Laios? Why? You and your screaming. But yeah, she's interesting, at least to me she's interesting, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing more from her and how they're gonna develop her. Outside of that, Trilby Asher's had a little appearance in the story. Don't really have much to say about that. I don't think it was even our Trilby Asher. I think it was just a random guy. Percival was very briefly in the story. Again, nothing really much to say about her outside of, hey, she was there. It was nice to see that she's leading some medicine development for Londinium, and she's staying behind. I do wonder where the rest of the reunion are gonna go to after this is done. That is kind of interesting, honestly, compared to the rest. But we'll see. Diane, I don't think I have much to say outside of, good God, woman, why did you have to steal the crown? But at the same time, it was kind of nice to see her develop a relationship with Eliseo. That was very cute, how the two of them kind of found each other. I do wonder how long she actually has to live, considering what we heard at the end, that her organs are pretty much being replaced or grown over by Originium, which just means there is really not much time left for her. She's pretty much on her last legs. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. She could still be around for some time. Who knows? Maybe she's gonna actually see Columbia. But that's for another story to tell in the future. Maybe a Colombian story. Then, Nadine was a bit of a surprise to see in here. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe not. Seeing Nadine was not too much of a surprise, but they didn't specify. I don't think she died there. I think she could just intimidate. She was just intimidated by the vampire chick, and after that, that was that. I feel like she's gonna come back around, considering they didn't say anything about her being alive or that, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with her. Shearer, my god. Shearer is giving me heart problems. And I hope he chills. I hope he actually gets to be around for some time. The guy was a Giga Chad with his medical expertise on the battlefield. And I don't think I don't think he's gonna be able to do it anytime soon anymore, because of his shaky hands. No matter what therapy he's gonna go through or medical treatment, I don't think he's gonna get rid of the shaking. He could, however, become a very good teacher. He could become a very good teacher to any future field medics. So he still has something to something to go for him. And yeah, Cater, I honestly forgot that the guy exists. It's been so long since he showed up that I kind of forgot that he exists. I do like it that he actually realized himself that he was an idiot for how he behaved in the past, and actually kinda apologized. But sure, we'll see. He's gone. He took his mates with him, and we'll see if he actually appears somewhere. That's another thing for the future. No, again, don't really care about the guy, but we'll see. Then characters that weren't too much in the story, like Rock appeared for a brief moment. Don't really have much to say about that. Nice to see that she was doing stuff. Same for Feist. Feist becoming actually a more prominent figure for the representation of the workers, essentially. Very good. He's moving on in the world. Catherine, in the meantime, while he's moving up in the world, Catherine moving more into the underground of the world. He's kind of hilarious at the same time. But also at the same time, Catherine's glow up is crazy. Again, her redesign is something crazy. I also think I remember somewhere reading comments that people were surprised, like, where the shit that did that hair come from on her all of a sudden? Did she put in extensions or some shit? She actually had long hair already. You can kinda see it on her model that she has her hair tied back behind her back. I don't remember if you can actually see it in like the animations that were released. She was in I think at least one of the animated trailers for one of the main story chapters, but I can't remember if you could actually see that she has long hair in it or not. It's been a while. But yeah, she definitely had long hair, so her redesign is not that much off. But very nice. The hag be looking good. Glasgow gang. Again, not much to say there, but I do like that they were slowly realizing that the Glasgow gang cannot be the way it was anymore. That they would have to split away from Vina, and Vina would have to stay in Parliament and do her job and her obligations, while they would have to go back home and do their own thing. and do their own way of supporting Vina. So good on them for realizing that over the period of the story. Indra's infection as well being finally addressed, how it came to and stuff like that. There we go. That's finally addressed. So yeah, that's nice. Also seeing seeing Indra, the one, you know, the punchy one, the go-getter one, break down in a couple of scenes was also very heart-wrenching. And of course that one scene with Dagda, while she's giving Vina the run through of the tower that is being turned into a museum, and then slowly as she's recounting and naming all of the knights that are represented there as statues, and then breaking down from that. Oof. Good God. There was actually multiple scenes where someone is talking, and suddenly breaks down. She did it. She did it, and finally, finally Indra did it as well. In that one scene, right at the end in Norport. It's also funny to see how much Indra and Dagda are competing against each other. It's kind of very cute. It's kind of very cute that the two of them are actually so became such rivals essentially. Very cute. But yeah, and of course Vina, our big essentially character for this whole story. Accepting her place in Parliament, telling the dukes off multiple times, and that final cutscene as well, where she was essentially twisting the tables on the dukes and declaring her own, like, "Hey, we're gonna do this my way." and also, yes, the dukes were the ones who were staunching the delivery of the goods that were already purchased but were not arriving, which means that they're probably, and they don't care, of course they don't care, but they were probably responsible for the death of quite a couple of people, cause the medical supplies were just not arriving in time, you know. We've had it through the entire story that medical supplies were short, and we heard it a couple of times that they were purchased and were arriving, and the dukes secured like passage for them, and then we also learned that the dukes were the ones who were blocking the passage because, you know, they want to have something against Vina in their hands, and yeah, they are assholes. There is nothing else to say about that outside of they are absolute assholes. And I do however love the imagery of the final scene of the sunset and the dukes in front of the sunset looking at it, like the sun is setting on the old regime and the new dawn is breaking. Very poetic, and finally time to do so, because my God, they legitimately need to be freaking taught a lesson. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, overall, this was a very bittersweet story with a lot of moments of heart wrench and gut punches and and surprises. And quite a bit of surprises as well. But yeah, anyhow, I think that will be it for the story. If I've skipped over anything during this little ramble here at the end, apologies, but there was a lot always in these stories, and I always like reading and hearing about that stuff from you guys. So if you have anything to add to it, I will gladly read it, respond, communicate with you guys as always. So keep it coming. Interested to see how you guys felt about the story, and yeah, hopefully I did some justice as well to a couple of scenes in this final part, because my God, some of the scenes in this final section were they were hard to record, not gonna lie. They were hard to record. Especially the one moment with Allerdale after the Steam Knight gave his speech. That voice quiver? That was not for show. that was not me pretending to have a voice quiver in that moment. that was legit. That was actually there. And some other moments as well in the story. But yeah, it was definitely one of those more challenging stories to voice through because of the sheer amount of emotions, and I hope I did it some justice. I hope I did it some justice with what I was doing, because again, it's pretty hard to do all of those when you know, you're legitimately jumping from voice to voice in real time. And you need to keep one mood going and then jumping into the other. Good God, mood swings. Why do I have to do them? Just joking. It was fun to do this story. In all things considered, after all. But yeah, a new story is on the horizon. The laptop story, Lapland Altar. The next Il Siracusano, or whatever the new title is, I can't remember it right now, is pretty much gonna be right around the corner, and I will obviously picking it up immediately when it drops. So yeah, look forward to it. I am definitely looking forward to it, to see what it's gonna be about, and what the shit is gonna be happening in it outside of dear old Lappy picking up picking up a new profession as a global caster. I have no idea. I have no idea what the story is gonna be about. We'll see. I guess we'll see together. So yeah, guys, as always, thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as always. If you did so, please consider a like on the video. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It would also help out a lot, of course, as Laios is shouting in the background again. Good God, Laios, please. Actually, you know what? Hold on. No, shut up. Shut up. I will make you shut up, Laios. I will make you shut up. You screamed enough. Good God. Hi, Catherine. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. If you want to also support me more directly, memberships on the channel are open. As I always say, no video will be behind a membership. It's pretty much there just to support me and my work. Thank you to all the members who are already doing so. Much appreciated, guys. It does really help out a lot. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. And the next one is gonna be there very soon. Oh yeah, and the video that I linked down in the comment section below, I think at this point you know what it is. I didn't address it earlier, but I think you know what it is at this point. It is down below. Check it out. Don't forget it. Do leave me a message if that is the actual original account that posted it. I did have to dig through Bilibili, and even with you know, page translations and everything, it's a bit weird to go through a page that is originally just in Chinese. So do leave me a comment if that is the actual full legit video. But yeah, anyway. Thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.